As I alluded to yesterday, wisdom is personified in the book of Proverbs as a woman. And in chapter 9, which is one of the chapters you'll be reading today, you have a contrast between Lady Wisdom and Dame Folly. And they both issue invitations to very different ways of life and to different ends. And Lady Wisdom invites the unwise or the simple to a banquet. She is inviting us to come and to learn. And our verses for the day are chapter 9, verses 9 and 10, which say, "Give instruction to the wise, and they will become wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will gain in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight." Again, verse 10 is a repeated verse that we see in the book of Proverbs, the idea that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And we need to be careful in understanding here that the fear of the Lord is more in a sense of reverence and awe. It's not the fear you have of somebody who is a psychotic serial killer, right? Those are two very different types of fear. And we're not fearing God in that way. It's the fear of the Lord in recognizing before one who's so awesome, so far beyond us, that humble awe. We think of bowing down, right, before God and all of God's greatness. That's the sense that we have when we say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It's the first step, is recognizing there is a power greater than ourselves. It's interesting that for those who are familiar with 12-step programs, right, that's part of one of the early steps of the 12 steps, is recognizing there is a higher power. And so the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One is insight. This idea that we have a posture of humility and learning and openness. And because if we're wise, we're open to learning and to gaining in instruction, so we become wiser still. The foolish are those who just don't learn. And they're so full of themselves, they're so arrogant and prideful. These are negative qualities we're going to hear about over and over in the book of Proverbs. We don't want to be foolish, prideful, arrogant, or quick-tempered or hasty to anger. Instead, we want to be humble, we want to be teachable, we want to be open to God's Spirit, moving in us, giving us guidance, and leading us forward. We want to accept Lady Wisdom's invitation to her banquet so that we can eat to our fill of God's wisdom.